What's going on, y'all, and happy Sunday. I hope everybody out there is feeling fantastic this morning, and I hope you guys are having a safe weekend so far. So let's go ahead and jump off into this video, and I want to talk about the late actress Brittany Murphy. So Brittany Murphy passed away December the 20th, 2009. Now, fast forward to February 2010, the coroner, Ed Winter, who is the same coroner that did the autopsy report for Kim Porter, Michael Jackson, so forth and so on, came to the conclusion that she passed away from severe iron deficiency, anemia, and multiple DRUG, intoxication, and pneumonia. So if we keep pedaling along, just to a few months later, to be exact, May 23rd, 2010, Brittany's husband, Simon Monjack, passed away from iron deficiency anemia, DRUG intoxication, and guess what? Pneumonia. Now, unfortunately, we can't get complacent. We have to keep trucking, y'all, and we have to sprint all the way to November the 15th, 2018, and that would be the date that Kim Porter passed away. And we all know what they say that Kim Porter actually passed away from.
Pneumonia.
Now, Ashton Kutcher, who dated Brittany Murphy briefly back in 2002 for about 5 months, is said to have some really deep ties to Diddy and that they were absolutely the best of friends. And there are also rumblings that Brittany may have had information as it pertains to some dark secrets that Ashton was hiding and some things that may have transpired at a few of those Diddy parties that went down. Now, when you take into account that Brittany and Simon were married and the fact that he had the key to the Hollywood realm back in the days, being an English screenwriter, also a film director and a producer on top of that, so he knew the ins and outs of the Hollywood streets. But they're saying that this man was the key to unlocking a whole lot of things. They're saying that he potentially had some information to shake up Hollywood, and Diddy was included. So what we have now is mounting speculation that adjacent to this Diddy trial, that they're going to start to maneuver and start to investigate and potentially reopen these cases involving Brittany Murphy, her late husband, Simon Monjack, and also Kim Porter, due to the fact that there's just an overwhelming connection to Diddy here, and it just cannot be denied. So what I want to do right here is play you guys a couple of clips. I want you guys to check this out, and I'll be back.
Ashton Kutcher and Simon Monjack are not Brittany's only connection to P. Diddy, and no one talks about this man. So after she dated Ashton, but before she got married to Simon, she got engaged to this man, Jeff Quantinitz. They ended up breaking up because Jeff said he was still in love with his ex. I also found it interesting that that same ex had went to a Diddy party, a regular one, but I thought I'd mention that. Following their breakup, Jeff becomes the manager of P. Diddy. And you know who else Jeff managed? Britney Spears. But only for a month, because you know what happened during the time that he was her manager? The infamous Give Me More VMA performance. The performance that happened the day after she was at Cassie's birthday party where Diddy was. And after that performance, Jeff dropped her. And unfortunately, we all know that Brittany passed away from pneumonia, so did her husband Simon, and so did Kim Porter, who was with Diddy and had children with Diddy. We also know the same coroner, Ed Winter, did the autopsies on all three of them. He also performed ones on Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, a lot of the famous people who have passed away in that time period who lived in Los Angeles. Now, Jeff works in this basketball industry now. He has a company with Ice Cube. He has had multiple lawsuits on him because of his behavior. Azalea Banks is one person who sued him. Now, Simon's connection to Diddy was that they shared the same personal trainer, Harley Pasternak. I could do a whole video on Harley and how he always seems to be around when a celebrity passes away. Like the day that Mac Miller passed, they were supposed to work out together. Now, Harley also trained Kanye, and they seem to have a pretty close relationship. And then Kanye ends up exposing texts between him and Harley. In those texts, it sounded like Harley was saying, if you don't talk to me and we don't work this out, then I'm just going to send you back to a psych ward where they're going to give you medications. And right after that, Aaron Carter makes a tweet saying that he wants to talk to Kanye. 24 hours later, he's in a bathtub. Now, I will say, Aaron has struggled significantly, but I really wanted to point that out too. Now, if you don't know, Ashton Kutcher, he's close friends with Diddy, went to his parties. Which ones? I don't know, but I bet you that soon enough we will hear about that, especially since Mila Kunis has now moved out of the house, allegedly because of things that might come out. A lot of people really want there to be a further investigation into Kim, Brittany, and Simon, but the man who did these autopsies has now also passed away, so that can't happen unless somebody else decides to look into them. And for me personally, let's just say all of this is a coincidence, that it's just a small world and these connections mean absolutely nothing. There is no reason why somebody can't take a second look at these deaths. It is shocking that pneumonia would take the lives of 3 young people who all have the financial means to get the best care in the world. Kim Porter was being treated by a doctor at the time. It doesn't appear that she went into a physical doctor, which I find interesting because Diddy had doctors on retainers in the past, and I wonder if allegedly maybe he was having someone help her from his team, but that's alleged. Anyway, she told these doctors she wasn't feeling good for days, that she was like coughing up phlegm with blood in it. They never did a chest x-ray. They basically gave her a Z-Pack and she was on her way until she passed away. And it's important to mention, because she's a black woman, that she has a way higher chance of being ignored, dismissed, or passing away. If she had pneumonia and was seeing a doctor, why was nothing done for her? And I'm also very curious in Jeff's complete involvement in all of this.
There are rumors that they're about to reopen the investigation into Brittany Murphy's death. And the connections aren't just between her and Diddy. They're with her husband too. We all know Brittany had a relationship with Diddy because he was best friends with Ashton. And Ashton dated Brittany for a long time. So it's safe for us to assume that Brittany probably saw some things. But what about her husband? Turns out there's been rumors circulating for years that her husband had dirt on Diddy. He was a screenwriter, producer, director, so he was very much in the industry. And we all know that in 2009, Brittany Murphy died in her house of pneumonia. 5 months later, her husband died of pneumonia in the same house. Didn't someone else die from pneumonia? Brittany's mom has been screaming foul play for years. There were rumors of toxic mold being in the house, but that got thrown out. All I'm saying is that Diddy is being accused of some pretty dark stuff. And it's not random gossip anymore. There's actually a trial going on. Is it possible these two are just casualties of Diddy's? Or is this all just a conspiracy that people made up? All I know is that dots are getting connected and it's not going Diddy's way. At least that's what they're telling me.
Alright, so you guys just heard all of that. Now, let me say this. As far as this Diddy trial goes and the angle that the prosecution team is coming from, I just don't see anything right now that's going to pin Diddy down and basically send him to prison for years, right? Because when you look at the Cassie situation, all they did was highlight DV, really. And Diddy's team, they admitted, said, hey, yo, listen, we're not saying that Diddy was not committing DV against Cassie, because he absolutely was, but what else you got? And then when you look at the Kid Cudi situation, unfortunately, Diddy's DNA was not found anywhere on the scene. He was not caught on surveillance, so that's going to be hard to prove that. So maybe the prosecution have something in the stash that they're going to bring out later on. You got Capricorn Clark taking the stand on Tuesday. Maybe she breaks some groundbreaking information that will split this case wide open against Diddy, but as for now, they really don't got nothing in my opinion, right? And if I'm being honest, that's the same thing that my connection is telling me that's been covering this case since day one, that they don't see anything solid enough to convict Diddy yet. And so I think that they need to take a turn to investigate the passing of Kim Porter, Brittany Murphy, and her late husband, because I really feel that if they did their due diligence and investigated, that they will come to the conclusion that Diddy is implicated in at least a few of these deletions as it pertains to people who were connected to him at one point in time. I really do. And let's not forget, or if you guys don't know, Nipsey Hussle is coming into question now. They're saying that there could be some type of connection to the passing of Nipsey Hussle, and maybe Diddy had his hands in that as well. And I'm working on that story. I'm getting information and things like that so I can present it to you all. That's alleged, right? I don't know this to be true or whatever, but that is the overall sentiment that I'm getting, right, from my plug. But anyway, I'm gonna draw the line here. I want you guys to drop down and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed in this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Yep.